I'm here to talk about a little bit about the 2012 lineup of mountain bikes this year. We've done a few changes across the whole lineup. This is our highest end mountain bike. This is our 6-inch travel, all mountain, do everything bike. This is the 2012 Nebo Peak. What the 2012 Nebo Peak is it features our F6A tapered frame. Some of the unique things on this frame that we're doing, we're running an aluminum frame, but we're hydroforming all the aluminum on here. So some of the gussets that you would typically see welded into a frame, we're actually shaping the tubing and forming the gussets that you see there. We're also running sealed bearings on every single pivot point. Actually, with our MP30 system, our main pivot point, we have a 30 millimeter diameter bearing. For smoother travel, longer lasting, helps disperse the travel of the frame a little bit better, and just have a smoother, better pedal efficiency. Same thing with the other sealed bearings on the frame, running them on all the different pivot points of the bike, just to make sure that you're getting the pedal efficiency. Also making sure you're getting the smooth plush travel that the frame has to offer, but really it's durability and quality. With the sealed bearing, all that force is going into the bearing instead of the frame itself that you would see with a conventional bushing. Some of the other technology we're using on the F6A tapered frame is where the tapered come from. So we're running a tapered head tube. So we're stiffening up the frame doing that. Also with the headset, we're running a sealed bearing headset. So you're getting all the internal bearings, everything sealed up. Help prevent dust and dirt from getting in there, wearing some of the headset down. But also with the Fezzari hidden set, all the headset bearings are inside of the frame itself, making everything a little bit stiffer up front. On the suspension link, we're using a 4-pivot link on the bike, tried and true, giving a real vertical wheel path travel, excellent pedal efficiency, real plush to the suspension travel. We're also using our dual bridge post system on the suspension link, where the rear shock mounts. And mounting this between the seat tube and the down tube, it's giving the bottom bracket a little bit more torsional resistance, making it a little bit stiffer. Also with the bottom bracket, we're cold forging our bottom bracket and then welding all the tubing together. By cold forging the bottom bracket piece, again, it's just adding to the stiffness of the bottom bracket, saving a little bit of weight as well on the frame set, and just making just a real killer frame. Also on the F6A tapered frame, we also have ISCG tabs. You're able to mount the bash guard or the chain guide or even like a Hammerschmidt drivetrain system that you're wanting to put on there, and not using the old school bottom bracket clamp system. It's been real helpful for those that are trying to take this frame, make it a little more free ride oriented. Been real fun to do. For componentry on the Nebo Peak, we've gone with the Fox Talus 150 millimeter fork on here, the factory series, so it's running the RLC damper in the fork itself with the 15 millimeter through axle, just for a real rigid, real tough bomb-proof fork on here. Also running the RP23 boost valve rear shock, again 150 millimeters of travel on it, getting a full 6 inches. For your do everything bike. For the drivetrain, everything we're running full SRAM EXO 2x10. So you're getting the EXO crank, EXO derailleurs, shifters, and the brakes as well. Brakes we're running the 185 front rotor, 180 front rotor, 160 rear rotor on here for all the stopping power that you're needing on this bike. Completing the bike out, we've got the TrueVative stem and handlebar in the cockpit, making it a real comfortable, real customizable bike for the Fezzari Nebo Peak. Next in the lineup for Fezzari for 2012 in the 6-inch travel category, we have our Cascade Peak. This is featuring the same F6A tapered frame as the Nebo Peak, but we changed a little bit on the componentry. So with the frame, you're still getting the hydroform tubing, the tapered head tube, the sealed bearings on every pivot point on that one. But on the components on this one, we've dropped down just a little bit just to make things a little bit more affordable. Still getting a killer component group on here. Getting the Fox Float fork, again factory series with the RLC damper on here. The Fox RP2 rear shock with the boost valve, able to take those bigger hits a little bit better. On the drivetrain on here, we're running the SRAM X9 2x10 shifters, front derailleur crank, but you're also getting the EXO rear derailleur. We've gone with this one, as you can see from the colors of the frame. On the componentry, matched componentry with the bike, going with the white and silver on here, just to play off a little bit the colors on the frame on this one. Again, keeping with the same TrueVative cockpit. For brakes, we got the Elixir 7s with the 180 front rotor, the 160 rear rotor, just to give you the stopping power that you're really needing. We also have a 4-inch travel, 100mm travel, cross-country full suspension line, starting with our Wiki Peak. This one comes with the F4A frame, featuring a lot of the same technologies that you're seeing in the F6A tapered frame. Like the hydroform tubing on the down tube, with all of the gussets, again on the top tube with the hydroforming, getting the same sealed bearings all the way across the MP30 system on the main pivot bearing, larger diameter bearing on it, the dual bridge post system, the cold forging on the dual bridge post, and also the bottom bracket area itself. The Wiki Peak is our entry level full suspension bike, but again, still boasting the same high-end technology as our highest end bikes. Also in our 4-inch travel cross-country lineup, we have the Abajo Peak. The Abajo Peak has been one of our most popular bikes since the beginning days of Fezzari bicycles. This is still featuring the F4A frame that we have in the Wiki Peak. Again, getting the same technologies that we have in our higher end frames with the hydroform tubing, sealed bearings on every pivot. Just a killer solid frame. The Abajo Peak is getting just higher end components than the Wiki Peak, with the RockShox suspension both front and rear on it, air suspension on the rear with the lockout, making the bike customizable and tunable to each individual rider. Coming with a Shimano drivetrain on here, very solid drivetrain that's going to get you where you need to go. For stopping power, we got the Avid Elixir 3 hydraulic disc brakes on the bike. Make sure you check out the Abajo Peak, like I mentioned, one of the most popular bikes from Fezzari. It's been around since day one. We also run a hardtail cross-country line for 2012. Our most popular hardtail bike is our 9990. It's as you probably guessed, it's a 2.9er frame on here. This is our F29A frame. Some of the unique things, again, like some of our other full suspension bikes that we do on the 9990 on this frame, is we run the hydroform tubing on the down tube and the top tube, again forming in the gusset that you would typically see welded in, adding a little bit of arc to the top tube just for a little bit of character as well as strength on it. One of the most unique things that we're running on this frame is our VersaLink dropout system. This is a system, innovative technology that we've come up with here, that what it basically does is, because there's a lot of single speed 2.9er riders out there, we've created a design that allows you to run both horizontal and vertical dropouts on the system. Basically what it does is we've designed chain tensioners inside the frame. So if you get a single speed setup, on the rear wheel, what it can do actually is with the sliders that are on the rear dropout, it's creating a horizontal dropout with your vertical dropouts. Real simple to do, actually. The brake as well floats with the bike itself, so you can adjust the whole caliper to your rotor, whatever chain tensioning system that you're using on there, running the single speed capability. Just adding more versatility to the frame. So instead of having to get a different frame to run the single speed, you can do it all on the F29A frame on this one. The 9990 features the Fox Float 2.9 fork with the RLC damper on here. Just a killer fork. Again, we're running a 15mm through axle on the front just for added rigidity on it. For drivetrain, we're running the SRAM X9 2x10 all the way across on it with the shifters, front derailleurs, crank. One of the things we actually are doing on the cassette, we are running a 36 tooth chainring on there. And a lot of times you'll see 34s. Doing the 36 tooth just because you're spinning a little bit of a bigger wheel, giving you a little bit lower gear to be able to get up some of those bigger hills with the bigger wheel. For brakes, we're running the Avid Elixir 7 brakes, doing the 180 rotor in the front, 160 in the rear for the added stopping power. Also for 2012, brand new that we do have a price point 2.9er coming in roughly around the $1,000 price point. So you're able to get the same frame, the same technologies with the VersaLink system, the hydroform tubing on a 2.9er, but for those looking for a little bit more of a budget bike, roughly in the $1,000 price point. Also in the cross-country lineup, we do have a carbon fiber frame. This is our Solitude. 26-inch wheel on this one. This new frame has been years in the making. Used a lot of our same technologies that you're seeing in our performance road bikes. The Solitude, like I mentioned, it's a full monocoque carbon fiber frame running a 3K weave on the carbon itself. We've changed the Solitude a little bit this year by going with a BB30 system, like we're running on some of our road bikes. With the BB30 system, we're able to make this frame stiffer, lighter, and get more power transfer out of the frame itself. Also running the 31.6 seat tube diameter, again stiffening up the bottom bracket area, making the frame a little bit laterally stiff on here. Some of the technologies that carry over from the roadside, we're using our continual dispersal box technology, or CDC, on the Solitude frame. What that is a lot of the lateral sway that you do see in a bike in the bottom bracket area, instead of having all the tubing come join together like the down tube, the seat tube, and the chainstays, all come together and meet right at the bottom bracket. With our continual dispersal box technology, what we're able to do is we form all of those junctions outside of the bottom bracket area. So we're using more of the down tube and the seat tube and the chainstays to help combat the lateral flex that you typically see in the frame. We're also running the same type of technology in the top tube into the seat stays on this one. That you can see the external lines are molded outside of the seat tube itself instead of joining right into the seat tube. We're also running a tapered head tube on the Solitude, just for a little bit more rigidity up front on the bike. One of the things that we're able to do on the Solitude for you is customize the spec specifically to you. So whether you're looking for an extreme, super light, 18, 19 pound race ready bike, we're able to change some of the componentry around for you, like wheels and forks and drivetrains and things like that, to make the bike your bike, specific to you, getting you exactly what you'd like to find. Also, with every Fezzari bike, we run every bike through our 23-point custom setup. And what we do with the 23-point custom setup is we get a lot of measurements from each individual rider. Just because everyone's proportioned a little bit different with heights and inseams and torsos, we want to make sure the bike is fitting exactly to you. So we go through and we change things like the stem length, the stem angle, stack height, crank arm length, seat post length, bar width, all those type of things to make sure the bike is fit for you. We also run through all the suspension, make sure everything is cycling properly for you, setting everything up to each individual rider weight. Air suspensions, everything is set up on those. Some of the coil forks are running on more of the entry-level bikes. If we need for a heavier rider, if we need a stiffer spring, we're changing those things out to make sure the bike is ready for you to ride. As with every Fezzari bike, you can buy them directly from the manufacturer. Doing so is saving you thousands of dollars on the bike. Be sure to check out all the 2012 lineup and all the products that we have to offer at Fezzari.com.